Okay, so you found the quick review, and this is Algebra 1 and the slope of a line. All right, so when you're talking about the slope of a line, there are a lot of different ways to reference it. I have here rise over run. Well, slope is the change from the horizontal. A horizontal line has no slope. But if you were to change it from the horizontal, you would have a slope. That would be fun to ski, right? Now, plumbers call it pitch. Rise over run, pitch, slope, all the same thing. Right? The rise, of course, is the vertical change. So the rise is the vertical change, or delta y. That means the change in y, the change in the vertical. And the horizontal is the change in x, the change in the horizontal. And again, that corresponds to the x and y axis on a Cartesian plane, right? So the y is the vertical and the x is the horizontal. Okay, because the y is the vertical, positive y would mean to go up because positive y numbers go up, and negative would mean to go down because positive y values go down. Since the bottom is the horizontal change, positive is right and negative is left. Okay, so what if you had the slope of 2 points? Well, we have a mathematical formula so that we don't have to graph it. You don't always have graph paper with you, and you need to mathematically find the slope of 2 points. All right, so you should remember this formula. Do you have it in your mind? It begins with m. M equals, and I hope you're thinking y sub 2 minus y sub 1. That would be the change in y, divided by x sub 2 minus x sub 1, the change in x. What are these subscripts? They tell you the y value of 0.2, the y value of 0.1, the x value of 0.2, the x value of 0.1. And here's a real important tip. I always tell my students to label the points. X sub 1, y sub 1. Don't go x of 1, y of 2. No, these are the x and y values of 0.1, the x and y values of 0.2. That's really important. Okay, let's run the slope formula. I'm going to set it up here. M equals, there's the negative of the formula, negative of the formula. Y sub 2 is a 2. Y sub 1 is a negative 4. See how that negative is important? We end up with negative a negative. X sub 2 is a negative 1, and x sub 1, 3. And see, it's so easy to read them when I label them like that. Okay, so negative and negative is a plus. We end up with 6 on the top, and 1 negative and 3 more negatives, 4 negatives on the bottom. And that's true, but we should reduce, and remember, put negatives in the top. And so negative 3/2 is our slope. All right, so negative 3/2. So let me show you how this corresponds to the points. Okay, 3, negative 4 is right there, right? And then negative 1, 2 is right there. Okay, so there exists a line between them, and I'm going to try to draw this as straight as I can. Hopefully that's good enough. And I'm going to use the slope here. So I'm going to start at this point here, at the negative 1, 2 point. And notice if I do the slope, I'm going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3. And if I go to the right 2, I should hit the line, and sure enough, I do. And notice I can do that again. I can go down 3 to the right 2, and sure enough, I hit the line. And by the way, what does that look like? So a set of stairs, and it looks like the riser, doesn't it? Yeah, the vertical change, right? The rise. All right, see the connection? And again, you might say, but Mr. Scarfi, I thought it was a negative 3 over 2. Okay, you want to, or I'm sorry, a 3 over negative 2. Okay, you want to do it that way? Okay, if I go up 3 and left 2, guess what? I still hit the line, right? Because mathematically they're exactly the same, right? A negative 3 over positive 2 or a positive 3 over negative 2. Hey, what's the slope? Rise over run. Another name for it, pitch. All right, top is vertical change, bottom is horizontal change.